This is me before running an ultramarathon. This is me after running an ultramarathon. All kinds of weird things happen to your body and your mind during long distance events. Nausea, euphoria, depression, joy, exhaustion, detachment from reality, and an irrational hatred of inanimate objects that you've just got fed up looking at. I hate you, canal! You're just a long pond. I experienced all of these when I took part in a 65-kilometre ultramarathon along a canal in South Wales. It is very early in the morning. And why was I doing this? Well, I thought it would be a great way to train for a 4-day, 100-mile backpacking trip in Scotland. The old nipple tip. This was my very first ultra, and I was so nervous before the race, I threw up in my hotel room, and I nearly missed the start of the race because my nervous guts trapped me in a portaloo. But none of these are even the weirdest thing that happens to your body during an event like this, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But first of all, I had some big questions for the other runners. Does running with the dog help or hinder you?
Depends how long the distance is.
Why are you doing this?
I want to set a good example to my kids when I'm really regretting it.
Would you rather run 100 miles barefoot or in welly boots? Barefoot.
Wellies. Barefoot, because I'm a barefoot runner normally.
What has been your biggest embarrassment?
Mine was using the portaloo and not quite locking it properly.
Oh no. This race runs along the Brecon and Monmouthshire Canal, which is a canal network built back about 200 years ago. And 200 years ago, it was mostly used to transport things like coal, agricultural supplies, iron ore and iron. And today it's a beautiful greenway for walkers, runners, cyclists and boat people. Hi boat people! If you're going back this way, give me a lift. Oh, this is really interesting. This is really interesting because if you fell in there, you would get locked away. I saw something really funny when I was on this part of the path yesterday on my bike, and it was a swan that really hates the local ducks, which is not something you often hear David Attenborough talking about. Okay, very quickly, let's talk about training techniques and kit. For this race, I trained from sort of a base mileage of about being able to run 10 miles, and I ran for 12 weeks. 3 runs a week with 1 long run. My longest run ended up being about 30 miles, so 40 doesn't seem that much, it's just 10 extra miles. Today it's just about slowing down, really relaxing, running in a way that has the least impact on my joints. Hopefully I can maintain that for the full distance. Would you rather race a horse-sized duck or a duck-sized horse?
A horse-sized duck, yeah, because it'll be waddling. Whereas a horse will probably be a bit quick.
Let's take a quick look at the kit I'm going to be using for this race. I've got my close here t-shirt, shorts, double layered anti-blister socks, I got my shoes, a thin pair of gloves, I got my Kinder 10-litre running vest, 2 soft flasks, then I got a pad of gels, higher Exmoor waterproof jacket, some essentials then, I got my foil blanket, emergency toilet roll, first aid kit, body glide, very essential. I got a head torch, inhaler because I can't breathe properly, medical tape, my headphones, got my 360 camera, my action camera, microphone, spare batteries, memory card, and then I've got my drop bag. And in my drop bag I've got a spare pair of shoes, a spare pair of dry socks, and my waterproof trousers just in case I get cold towards the end of the race. They say that ultramarathons are basically eating and drinking competitions because during this race today I am going to burn somewhere between 4,500 to 5,500 calories. Would you rather eat poo flavoured chocolate or chocolate flavoured poo? Oh god.
Well, probably the chocolate flavoured poo, isn't it? Because
I'm with Reese on this one.
I mean, it tastes alright.
Yeah, I'd go that as I would say.
I think I've just met my favourite runner. Look at his wee shoes. Hi duck. 4 miles in and I'm on to my first gel. Your body has a finite store of energy. It's sort of stored in the form of glycogen, and as soon as you start moving, that easily accessed energy store starts to drop. Now, you can top it up by regularly consuming carbohydrates, but the problem is you're very, very likely to get to a point where that energy level hits bottom and you're not really able to top it up faster than you're using it. At that point, you hit the wall, and you've probably heard about this. That's the point in a run where you just feel you know it when you've experienced it a few times. You just feel empty. Like mentally, it hits you. Psychologically, you want to give up. Physically, you feel like you can't run any further. And as you push through it, eventually you start going again. You got like energy starts coming from somewhere. And the place that that energy comes from is your body, your fat reserve, but also your muscles. Your body will break down and eat your own muscles to feed itself. At some point in this race today, I expect to feel horrendous. And that's when I need to push and say to my cells, all right, chums, it's time to turn cannibalistic and have a munch on your buddy. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Pegasus events. Yeah, Pegasus Running organised this race. So yeah, go and check them out if you're interested in running in Wales. And one of the nicest parts about the races, including this one, is there's no cut-off time. So I will finish this ultra even if I have to do it while pushing a trolley. Is this cheating? Phil here, Newport native, knows this route, so I'm going to get Phil's top tip for running the Canum walk. Whoa! Hi geese! I've just noticed a very rare Welsh animal. This is the native pond trolley, and it appears to be nesting. And in just a few months, a brood of small baby trolleys will appear. It's almost flat all the way to the finish line, which can make this seem like a really easy route, but running a long flat race has its own issues. So I decided to ask Reese from Pegasus, what would your one bit of advice be?
For this race in particular, because it's so flat, it would be not to go out too fast. Start off slower than slow, and then enjoy the experience more.
Hi Pigeon! Harassing the local wildlife. There's another one. Pigeon! Worst camping trip ever. Oh, I may have eaten too many gels close together. I just had a mini sick. Oh, swallowed it again because I need the carbs. Thanks. Hello. 2 plain waters, please. Thanks. I don't want to eat. I'm having a Freddo. This is possibly a terrible idea, but I'm gonna have one of these. Forecast today's pretty good. It's overcast, so I'm not being burnt by the sun. It's around, going to hit a maximum around 15 degrees, which is a bit too warm for me, but there is a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind most of the day, which will cool me off a bit, and it might rain later on. Ooh, look at this. What's this? What am I doing? I've hit the wall. This is the weird thing about running along a canal. You're up quite high, beside what looks like a river, above another river. Look at this. These guys just caught a fish. What is that?
Pike.
It's a pike.
Yeah.
If I put my finger in, would it bite me?
Yeah.
Something fishy going on there. These maniacs are not just running this race, you're doing 6 ultras. Why? What's that about? Why are you doing 6?
I said I would drive, and Matt was like, yeah, alright then, because Matt doesn't drive.
And that was it?
Oh, there.
That was it? I'm enjoying this so far. First narrow boat spotted. My forever association of narrow boats will be Rosie and Jim. My middle name is James. And what's short for James? It's Jim. There's no Rosie, but I've got Ratty here, so this is the Ratty and Jim show. Ratty and Jim, Ratty and Jim. Why did I sign up for an ultramarathon? Yeah, that works. I'm feeling the poo brewing. Clench the cheeks, clench the cheeks. What is it?
Tell you books, mate. We got about 2 miles to the food station.
Rhubarb and custard squashies, one of my favourite running snacks. I didn't bring any, and oh no!
We dropped one.
Drop one.
Throw that to the ducks.
Yeah, the ducks can have that one.
Plenty more there, mate.
Now, I can't believe that Andy and Anne, they're not even running the race. They travelled all the way here just to feed me squashies. Legends. It's Lee.
Yes. Hey, you too.
Checkpoint 2, which ironically would be a good place to do. Hey, number 2. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want to talk about what I had to do with that empty toilet roll tube. Let's just say it's no longer in one piece. Speaking of running 100 miles in a pair of wellies, where's the rest of them? I've crossed that many bridges, I decided I would actually go and climb one, and this is probably a good place to mention Harrier Trail Running. Harrier are sponsoring this event, they're sponsoring my video, so thank you very much to Harrier. If you're interested in getting into trail running, check them out. Their tagline is trail running for everybody, and they make really good kit at affordable prices. They do race vests, they do waterproofs, soft flasks, first aid kits, emergency bivvies. What do you think of the Kinder pack?
Love it, holds everything I need. Very comfy, doesn't bounce around. So yeah, winner.
And I've got a discount code, so if you want to get some discount from Harrier Trail Running, use this code along the bottom. What's this? Hello. It's a beautiful part of the route. This is really weird. I've had an immediate mood increase now that I've passed the halfway mark. I just feel slightly euphoric. It could just be really severe dehydration. Oh no. Whoa. Suddenly I don't feel as good as I did 10 minutes ago. I'm gonna walk for a bit. It's not far. And the rain is oh no. Okay. For
the next 5 minutes I felt like I was running in a dream. My mind went empty, detached, and I ran along as if I was in a trance until I eventually came back to reality. It always surprises me just how often and how fast your mental state can change during a race.
No, it's this way. I've just checked it on the map. Oh, just crossing the bridges is starting to get painful now. You've got to be kidding me. What is this? Oh, I can barely bend over. What is this? Stop throwing banana skins in the canal! Checkpoint 3. Oh, you're the one who messaged me. Yeah. Is this where she runs Cardiff?
Yes.
I heard just potatoes.
There are potatoes.
I want some spuds. Thank you very much.
Well done.
15 miles to go. Spuds! That, ladies and gentlemen, is a marathon. And if I was running a marathon, I'd be currently being presented with a medal. But I'm not running a marathon. I'm running an ultramarathon, so I've got another 15 miles to go. Look at the size of that tree. Hello. I'm now hitting the stage in the race where I feel like I want to stop and walk. Ooh, I've just been sick in my mouth again. Oh, I really feel like I'm going to spew. Something very significant is about to happen. If I take one more step, Mr. Frodo, it'll be the farthest I've ever run in my life. There, furthest I've ever run in one continuous go in my life. Every fibre in my legs wants to walk, and running is just very, very uncomfortable. Okay, there are 4 people ahead of me within sight, spread over about half a kilometre. I am now making it my mission to get past every single one of them before the end of this race. I find this actually helps me a lot. If I give myself a mission, I can push a bit harder. So let's get them ticked off. I've run out of people to chase. I'm now racing this narrowboat. What's the speed limit in those things? Slow. Whew.
Steve, you alright?
Oh, this is a hill.
This is the worst bit of the whole race, this bit is.
Thank you. I've nearly thrown up twice. I don't want anything with sugar. Off we go! Come on, put some effort in. Some people like to spend all day slowly moving along a canal. Not me, but hey, whatever floats your boat. I dedicate this moment of sitting down. Ooh! To my wife Louise, who above all things loves a good seat. Ooh! Can't get up. About 5 miles to go. It's time to pull out my secret weapon. For the last 6 months, I haven't touched any caffeine, and I've got 1 caffeine gel with me. And now that I'm buzzing from the caffeine, my very last trick is to put on my absolute cheese fest of a motivational playlist. Oh shit! It's the final countdown! Oh, I think the caffeine is worn off. I feel terrible! This is the most pain a canal has caused me since my last trip to the dentist. You're not going to believe this, but I'm actually gaining motivation from the fact that I'm now racing a swan. Come on, swan! Move your little flippers! They can break a man's arm with a single swipe of its wing. I am fed up looking at this canal. I hate you, canal! You're just a long pond. Look at you there with your brown water all smug and canal-like with your narrow boats. You think you're better than a river? There's a river. That's a proper bit of water. Not like you stagnant waster. Because your water suffers from an oxygenation problem. I am absolutely empty. Oh. I've walked up. I've walked up a 4-foot slope. Yeah. Ugh. Yay, something interesting. No. My head got a bit cold. Where's the finish line? I've got 60 seconds to get there before 10 hours. Let's go.
Did you go in the canal?
Oh, I think I'm gonna throw up again. Oh, now I need to do that again because the camera's over there. So, let's review. I enjoyed that up until about 30 miles. And then it sort of all went downhill from there. I think the biggest problem for me was that I didn't see anybody for nearly the last 10 miles, so my motivation went out the window. I had nobody to talk to, I had nobody to chase, I had nobody chasing me, so I just kind of stopped caring towards the end. I had no reason to mentally force myself to push, so I didn't. I made a few mistakes. If there's anything I was going to do again, I would only use gels for the first half of the race, because after the first half of the race I started to get heartburn every time I ate a couple of gels, quite bad heartburn, and I started burping and bringing stuff up, and isn't that really messed with me? So I need to find some kind of savoury option. I might have to carry my own potatoes when I go running. And probably the other biggest mistake I made was I just didn't train enough. I effectively did about 12 weeks training for this, and the 30 miles I did a month ago was easier than the first 30 miles I did today. So yeah, training could have been better. I probably made a mistake in that yesterday I was on the bike for 4 hours recceing the course and shooting all that drone footage you saw. That probably wasn't a good idea ever. But here's the fact. The fact is, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I said I would never run a marathon. I ended up running a marathon. And then I said I would never run a mountain race. I ended up running a mountain race. And I said I would never run an ultra race. And I've just done one. So I'm really worried about what's the next thing I said I would never do. I'm potentially going to wind up doing. I'm not even going to suggest anything because I'm worried it'll end up happening, but thank you for coming along with me on my run today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you've laughed at me at my expense. And thank you to Pegasus for putting on such a great event. And thank you to Harrier for sponsoring it. And now I am going to go and eat my body weight in food because my watch says I've burned 6,000 calories today. Ah!